In our second video, we want to look at comparing rates. And as you can see, I wrote ratios and rates. In our textbook, they sort of intertwine the two. From my perspective, the big difference is that in rates, we keep the words. With ratios, we're just looking at the number relationship. Okay. Now, that being said, what I would want to do if I was going to compare ratios or rates is I would want to look at them as sort of apples to apples, if you will. So let's say that we were looking at Bob. Now let's say that Bob makes $60 in, let's say he makes $60 in 4 hours. Okay. Let's say that his buddy Joe makes $50 in 2 hours. Okay. Now, for us as adults, we see this and we can quickly look at, and we know who's making more money per hour. Okay. That being said, though, as a kid, they might focus more on the actual dollars. That Bob made $60 versus Joe making 50. So they might think Bob is doing better just because he made more in total. But what we want to talk about is how much are they making per hour? And that, of course, is a pay rate or an hourly wage. So what we want to do here is to compare to see who makes more per hour. Okay. So in order to compare them, we have to do unit rates. Okay, so the first thing I'd want to do is take Bob and do his unit rate, which would be 60 divided by 4. And if you take 60 divided by 4, I believe you get 15. So he's going to make $15 per hour. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with Joe. Joe makes $50 in 2 hours. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So as we can see, even though Bob made more money over his time, Joe is getting paid more per hour. Okay, this again seems like a simple concept for adults, but for kids it can be really tough because they'll look at the total numbers of 60 and 50 versus looking at it as a rate. Okay, we're going to do another example in the next video where we can practice again this idea of unit rates and comparing.